What's up everyone? Dr. Mike here. Let's talk about something incredibly important that often gets overlooked until it's too late. Think your diet's fine? You eat your vegetables, you try to avoid too much sugar, you feel pretty healthy overall. But what if I told you that some of the most common things you probably have in your kitchen right now, are silently pushing your kidneys toward failure? And here's the really scary part. This can happen even if your blood pressure and sugar levels are completely normal. It's a silent process, a gradual erosion of one of your body's most vital filtration systems, and the foods you choose every single day are either protecting them or actively causing harm. The kidneys are remarkable organs. They're your body's master chemists, working around the clock to filter about half a cup of blood every single minute. They remove waste products, balance your body's fluids, release hormones that regulate blood pressure, and so much more. But they are also incredibly resilient, which is a double-edged sword. They can continue to function even when they've lost a significant amount of their capacity. This means kidney disease often goes completely unnoticed. There's no pain, no obvious warning signs, no red flags waving at you until the damage is already severe and potentially irreversible. This is why it's called a silent killer. This lack of early symptoms is precisely why proactive prevention through diet is so critical. You can't rely on feeling sick to tell you something is wrong with your kidneys. By the time symptoms like fatigue, swelling in your ankles, or changes in urination appear, you could have already lost up to 90% of your kidney function. That's a staggering amount of damage. We need to shift our mindset from treating a problem to preventing it from ever starting. And the most powerful tool you have in this fight is your fork. Understanding which foods put a strain on these vital organs is the first and most important step you can take to protect your long-term health. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on 7 common food groups that are known kidney saboteurs. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to empower you with knowledge. We'll break down exactly why these foods are problematic, looking at the specific compounds and nutrients that overload your kidneys. And more importantly, for each one, I'll give you simple, delicious, and healthier swaps you can make today. This isn't about a restrictive, boring diet, it's about making smart, informed choices to keep your body's filtration system running smoothly for decades to come. Let's get into it. Let's talk about a breakfast favorite that can be a major offender when it comes to kidney health. Processed meats. Bacon, sausages, and hot dogs contain high levels of sodium and nitrates. Sodium forces your kidneys to work overtime to maintain balance, potentially damaging the nephrons over time. Nitrates, used as preservatives, can lead to inflammation, reducing blood flow to the kidneys. High sodium intake increases blood volume, leading to hypertension and damaging the glomeruli, the kidney's filtration units. Nitrates may also contribute to the formation of harmful compounds, adding cellular stress. Instead, opt for grilled chicken breast, seasoned with herbs and spices, or egg whites, which are almost pure protein and low in phosphorus. Tofu scrambles with vegetables are another kidney-friendly option. Shift your focus to fresh, whole food protein sources to support your renal health. Packaged snacks are convenient, but often nutritional traps, loaded with hidden sodium and phosphorus. Chips and crackers are high in sodium. The more insidious issue is phosphorus additives, added to enhance flavor and preserve freshness. Unlike organic phosphorus in whole foods, this additive form is almost completely absorbed, potentially leading to hyperphosphatemia. This can cause a cascade of health problems. Food manufacturers aren't required to list phosphorus amounts, making it difficult to know how much you're getting. Look for PHOS or phosphate on labels. Instead, try unsalted, air-popped popcorn. Another option is roasted chickpeas, or choose unsalted nuts and seeds. Raw vegetables like carrot sticks are also a great choice. Move toward whole foods to eliminate hidden sodium and dangerous phosphorus additives. It's a simple switch that can protect your kidneys and overall health. Let's discuss cola and dark sodas. They're refreshing and habitual, but medically that seemingly innocent can look menacing. The culprit? Phosphoric acid. Studies link regular consumption of these sodas to an increased risk of chronic kidney disease. You're putting measurable stress on your kidneys. Another issue is the increased risk of kidney stones. You're providing the building blocks for painful crystals. Switching away from these drinks is a powerful lifestyle change. There are fantastic, healthy alternatives. Infuse water with lemon, lime, or cucumber. Lemon water actively helps protect your kidneys. Sparkling water gives you fizz without the harmful ingredients. Unsweetened herbal teas like peppermint or chamomile are excellent choices. Canned soup. A convenient meal but often a minefield of sodium, posing a problem for your kidneys. The salt acts as a preservative and flavor enhancer. Our kidneys weren't designed for this sodium bombardment. High sodium leads to higher blood pressure, damaging the nephrons inside your kidneys. This can contribute to kidney damage without you realizing it. Check the sodium number on the label. Anything over 500, 600 milligrams is a red flag. Be mindful of additives and the overall nutritional quality. Processing can diminish the nutritional value. Canned soup is engineered for convenience and shelf life, not optimal health. The solution? Make your own. It's an easy way to meal prep. You control the ingredients, especially the salt. The possibilities are endless. Use fresh herbs, spices, and a little acid for flavor. Make a big batch for healthy lunches. It's cheaper, more nutritious, and more delicious. Protect your long-term kidney health. Let's move on to another category of foods that can be secretly sabotaging your kidney health. Pickles, olives, relishes, and many commercial sauces like ketchup, barbecue sauce, and soy sauce. What do all of these have in common? They rely heavily on preservation techniques that involve massive amounts of sodium. The process of pickling, for example, involves soaking cucumbers in a brine of salt and vinegar. This is what gives them their signature tangy crunch and allows them to last for months, but it also means the cucumbers end up absorbing an incredible quantity of sodium. A single large dill pickle can contain more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium. That's more sodium than the American Heart Association recommends for an entire day. And it's so easy to eat one or two as a snack without even thinking about it. The same goes for olives, capers, and other brined vegetables. They are sodium bombs hiding in plain sight. As we've already thoroughly discussed, this kind of extreme sodium load forces your kidneys into overdrive, driving up your blood pressure and putting immense strain on those delicate filtering nephrons. It's a direct assault on your renal system. Now let's look at commercial sauces. That dollop of ketchup on your fries, the teriyaki sauce in your stir-fry, or the barbecue sauce on your chicken might seem harmless, but their sodium content is shockingly high. Food manufacturers use salt not just for taste but also as a cheap filler and preservative. A mere 2 tablespoons of a typical barbecue sauce can pack over 300 milligrams of sodium, and who uses just 2 tablespoons? These sauces make it incredibly easy to pile on hundreds, if not thousands, of extra milligrams of sodium to an already salty meal, creating a perfect storm for hypertension and kidney strain. The problem is that these flavors are concentrated. We don't perceive the saltiness as intensely because it's often balanced by high amounts of sugar or strong acidic flavors like vinegar. This masks the true sodium load, tricking our taste buds and leading us to consume far more than we realize. It's a deceptive combination. You're getting a double hit of ingredients that are problematic in excess: sodium and sugar, both of which contribute to inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and ultimately, a heavier burden on your kidneys. We need to be culinary detectives and recognize these hidden sources of salt. The danger in many commercial sauces isn't just the salt, it's the insidious combination of salt and sugar. Take a look at the ingredient list on a bottle of your favorite ketchup or barbecue sauce. You'll likely find that sugar, often in the form of high fructose corn syrup, is one of the first 2 or 3 ingredients listed. This potent duo of high salt and high sugar creates a highly palatable, almost addictive flavor profile that our brains are wired to love. However, this combination is particularly stressful for our bodies and our kidneys. The high sugar content contributes to a whole host of metabolic problems. It can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and systemic inflammation, all of which are independent risk factors for chronic kidney disease. When your body is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation, it can damage blood vessels throughout your body, including the tiny fragile ones within the kidneys. Moreover, high blood sugar levels themselves can directly damage the nephrons, a condition known as diabetic nephropathy, which is the leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. So when you consume these sauces, you're not just getting the blood pressure-raising effects of the sodium, you're also getting the inflammatory and metabolic damage from the sugar. It's a synergistic effect where each component makes the other more harmful. The sugar spikes your insulin, which can cause your kidneys to retain more sodium, further exacerbating high blood pressure. It's a vicious cycle. Your body is trying to deal with a flood of sugar and a flood of salt simultaneously, placing an enormous metabolic and filtration load on multiple organ systems. Think about how these sauces are typically used. They're often added to already processed foods like French fries, burgers, or processed chicken nuggets. This means you're layering a high-sodium, high-sugar condiment on top of a high-sodium, high-fat food. The cumulative effect on your body is immense. It's a meal that provides very little in terms of valuable nutrients like fiber, vitamins, or minerals, but delivers a massive payload of ingredients that promote inflammation, raise blood pressure, and directly stress the kidneys. It's a recipe for long-term health problems. So how do we get that delicious flavor and tang on our food without a tidal wave of salt and sugar? The answer lies in your spice rack and fresh produce aisle. It's about retraining your palate and discovering the world of flavor that exists beyond commercial sauces. You can create incredibly delicious and complex marinades, dressings, and toppings using ingredients that actively support your health instead of harming it. This is where cooking. Alright, let's move on to number 6. Dairy, like whole milk and hard cheeses. Dairy is praised for calcium and protein, but for kidney health it's nuanced. The main issue is phosphorus. Impaired kidneys struggle to filter phosphorus, leading to hyperphosphatemia. High phosphorus can weaken bones. Dairy is a concentrated source of phosphorus, easily absorbed. High protein intake also increases kidney workload. Dairy, like Greek yogurt and cheese, are protein powerhouses. Be aware of dairy's impact and consider moderation, especially with kidney disease risk factors. For alternatives, plant-based milks like almond, oat, and soy milk are lower in phosphorus and protein. Read labels for phosphate additives. For cheese alternatives, try nutritional yeast. These swaps reduce kidney stress and introduce more nutrients. Finally, we arrive at number 7 on our list: red meat. This includes foods like beef, lamb, and pork. For many, a meal isn't complete without a piece of steak or a juicy burger. But when we look at the metabolic impact of these foods, particularly on the kidneys, a cautionary tale emerges. One of the primary concerns with a diet high in red and processed meats is the concept of dietary acid load. It sounds complicated, but the principle is fairly straightforward. Different foods, after being metabolized by our body, leave behind either an acidic or an alkaline residue, or ash. Fruits and vegetables are generally alkaline forming, which means they help neutralize acid in the body. Animal proteins, on the other hand, especially red meat, are high in sulfur-containing amino acids like methionine and cysteine. When your body breaks these down, it produces sulfuric acid, which needs to be buffered and then excreted by the kidneys. This process contributes to a state of low-grade chronic metabolic acidosis. Essentially, a diet heavy in red meat forces your kidneys to work overtime, constantly fighting to excrete this acid and maintain the body's delicate pH balance, which is tightly regulated around 7.4. This constant acid load is a significant stressor. Imagine your kidneys are the bouncers at a club, and a high-meat diet means there's a never-ending line of rowdy patrons, the acid, they have to manage and kick out. Over years and decades, this unrelenting work can contribute to a gradual decline in kidney function, a condition known as chronic kidney disease. Studies have consistently shown a link between high dietary acid load and an increased risk of developing chronic kidney disease, as well as a faster progression of the disease in those who already have it. This is a silent process. You don't feel your blood pH shifting slightly or your kidneys working harder. It happens slowly, insidiously, over a long period. This is why dietary choices made in your 30s and 40s can have such a profound impact on your health in your 60s and 70s. By reducing your intake of high acid-forming foods like red meat, and increasing your intake of alkaline-forming foods like fruits and vegetables, you are effectively easing the burden on your kidneys. You're giving your body's most important filters a much-needed break, allowing them to preserve their function for the long haul. Similar to our discussion on dairy, the sheer amount of protein in red meat is also a major factor for kidney health. Red meat is an incredibly dense source of protein. While this is beneficial for building muscle, it presents that same challenge of a high filtration workload for the kidneys. The breakdown of this large protein load produces a significant amount of nitrogenous waste, primarily urea, which, as we've covered, must be filtered from the blood. A diet consistently high in red meat keeps the glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, the rate at which your kidneys filter blood, chronically elevated in a state known as hyperfiltration. Think of it like this: hyperfiltration is the kidney equivalent of sprinting a marathon. For a while it can keep up the pace, but over time this sustained high performance leads to burnout and injury. This state of hyperfiltration is believed to be a key mechanism through which high-protein diets can initiate and promote kidney damage, particularly in individuals who are already susceptible due to other risk factors like diabetes or hypertension. It's a physical strain on the delicate filtering units of the kidney, the glomeruli, leading to scarring and a loss of function over time. Furthermore, the conversation goes beyond just the quantity of protein. It's also about the byproducts created from its digestion in our gut. The gut microbiome plays a crucial role here. When you eat red meat, certain gut bacteria metabolize components like choline and L-carnitine, producing a compound called trimethylamine, or TMA. The liver then converts TMA into trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. High levels of TMAO in the blood are now strongly linked to an increased risk of not just cardiovascular disease, but also chronic kidney disease and its progression. This is a fascinating and evolving area of research. It shows that the impact of red meat isn't just about the acid or the protein load on the kidneys themselves, but also about how it interacts with our gut bacteria to produce metabolites that can be toxic to both our blood vessels and our kidneys. These uremic toxins like TMAO contribute to inflammation and fibrosis, the scarring I mentioned earlier, within the kidney tissue. So reducing red meat intake helps on multiple fronts. It lowers the acid load, decreases the filtration burden, and reduces the production of harmful gut-derived toxins. So, the evidence suggests that cutting back on red meat is a smart move for kidney longevity. What do you eat instead? Fortunately, the world of plant-based protein is vast and delicious. One of the best swaps you can make is incorporating more legumes into your diet. This includes foods like lentils, chickpeas, black beans, and kidney beans. Lentils, for example, are a nutritional powerhouse. They are packed with protein and fiber, but they are an alkaline-forming food, meaning they help counteract the dietary acid load we just talked about. They actively support your kidneys instead of stressing them. Tofu and tempeh, both derived from soybeans, are also excellent protein sources. They are incredibly versatile and can be used in stir-fries, scrambles, salads, or baked as a direct replacement for meat. Unlike red meat, these plant-based proteins put significantly less strain on the kidneys. Studies comparing the effects of animal versus soy protein in people with kidney disease have found that soy protein results in less hyperfiltration and less protein leaking into the urine, both of which are markers of reduced kidney stress. They provide the protein you need without the associated collateral damage. It's important to remember that this isn't about an all-or-nothing approach. You don't have to become a strict vegetarian or vegan overnight to reap the benefits. Simply practicing meatless Mondays or aiming to replace red meat with a plant-based option for a few meals each week can make a substantial difference. Think about making a hearty black bean burger instead of a beef burger, or a rich lentil bolognese sauce for your pasta instead of a meat-based one. These small, consistent changes accumulate over time to significantly reduce the overall burden on your kidneys. The goal is to shift the balance of your plate. Aim for a diet that is rich in fruits, vegetables, and plant-based proteins, with red meat being an occasional food rather than a daily staple. This approach not only protects your kidneys but also benefits your heart, your gut, and your overall health. By making these mindful swaps, you're not just avoiding harmful foods, you're actively choosing foods that nourish and protect your body's vital systems. You are investing in your future health, one delicious plant-powered meal at a time. We've covered a lot today, from the hidden sodium in canned soups to the acid load from red meat. It can feel overwhelming, but I don't want you to leave here feeling discouraged. I want you to feel empowered. Knowledge is only powerful when you act on it. So, I have a challenge for you, starting right now. It's simple, it's actionable, and it can be the first step toward taking real, tangible control of your kidney health. I call it the 3-3-7 challenge. Cut 3, swap 3, and track for 7 days. It's about making small changes that lead to big results. Here's the first part. Go to your pantry, your fridge, your cupboards right after this video. I want you to identify 3 items from the list we discussed today. Maybe it's that can of chicken noodle soup, that block of extra sharp cheddar, or that package of bacon. I want you to cut them out for just 1 week. Don't throw them away if you don't want to, just set them aside. The goal isn't to create waste, it's to create awareness. By physically removing them from your immediate reach, you are making a conscious decision to prioritize your health and break an old habit. Next, the swap 3 part. For each of the 3 items you set aside, I want you to find a healthier, kidney-friendly alternative. Instead of the canned soup, you're going to try making a simple broth with low-sodium bouillon and fresh vegetables. Instead of the cheese on your salad, you're going to sprinkle on some nutritional yeast or toasted seeds. Instead of that dark, sugary soda with dinner, You'll infuse a pitcher of water with lemon and mint. The key is to have these swaps ready to go so when the craving hits, you have a delicious and supportive choice at your fingertips. Finally, the most important part, track for 7 days. I don't mean tracking calories or macros. I want you to track how you feel. Get a small notebook or use the Notes app on your phone. Each day, just write down a few words about your energy levels. Do you feel less bloated? Do you notice less of that afternoon slump? Is your digestion smoother? What you eat matters even before medication does. By paying close attention to your body's signals, you create a powerful feedback loop that reinforces these positive changes. Take charge of your kidney health now, because the small choices you make today build the foundation for a healthier tomorrow. Let me know in the comments how the challenge goes, and as always, stay happy and healthy.